前に孫を救えるか。
わからん。だが共に生きることはできる。
どうやって生きるのだ。サンと共に人間と戦うというのか。
Chris Scouser here with
Matt Howell. You threw me off. Being all patriotic threw me off.
It's our 4th of July episode, Matt. I had
know.
to do something with it,
Fair
right?
enough.
The 250th anniversary of this country. So, this week on the first round, Matt and I are going to get our Krypto fix with the next film in James Gunn's new DC cinematic universe. It's Supergirl. I'll run down the mercifully short list of physical media releases this week, and in honor of the United States 250th anniversary, I'm going to close out the show by playing a quick little game with Matt, and he does not know about this. And I'm not going to say what it is until we get to it, so he can't cheat. All I'll say is that it might involve some light treason. So, as my clip is still playing, isn't it? Son of a gun. All right, let's fade that out. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start everything off with a clip from Supergirl.
Hi there.
Ikalata.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't I don't speak Kryptonian. I didn't never shoot. I wasn't raised there, so I wasn't raised there. Why am I talking louder? Let me help you.
It's Krypto. Sfura, Nini. Sfura.
It's a feisty little guy. It's cute. Is it okay if I... Watch your step there. Might be slippery, so... Ah, yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, we don't actually live here. There's a lot more to Earth than just this place. Big city, lots of stuff to do, and you'll also learn to love this place, just like I have. Promise.
Es Mickey Cream, yeah.
Oh, should mention, your powers are gonna start kicking in right about now.
Now, Matt, what is Supergirl all about?
So, Supergirl is the last daughter of Krypton, Superman's cousin, and it's her birthday week. So she's out traveling the galaxy, going to Red Suns, traveling to Red Suns so she can get drunk and party properly with her good buddy Krypto. Well, she stops at a planet. A young lady enters in looking for bounty hunters to help her with revenge, for someone who may or may not have just murdered her family in cold blood. And Supergirl, against her better judgment, gets wrapped up in this plot. But to really make Chris hate watching this, the real driving thread of this is when they corner said bounty hunter, or at least when the bounty hunter is stealing Supergirl's ship, he poisons Krypto the dog. And now she has a ticking clock to save said dog.
Yeah, that really, oof, I do not like it. Particularly with Krypto, who I'm a very big fan of. So that was a little concerning.
I like how it extends to completely CGI dogs as well. So,
Oh, sure. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, of course.
So, Matt, I selected that clip for a reason, and we're going to talk about that here. But I'm curious, first, your thoughts on Supergirl, and then why all the hate? Because this is not also doing terribly well.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know
But
that.
I honestly, I don't think it's horrible. I don't.
It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. In fact, it's quite good in some parts. I mean, not to bury the lead, right? Because Chris asked this question, but I think, at least for me, my one complaint with the film, or the one issue I had with the film, is that it's very dark. So essentially, the bad guys are
theme.
Yeah, in theme. Yeah. Not in actually physically dark, right? Although it
Not
isn't
aesthetics.
It's not as bright as Superman
At
was.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bad guys are essentially sex traffickers, right? Which is pretty some pretty heavy, disturbing stuff. This version of Supergirl uses the kind of Argo origin story, the Argo City origin story, as opposed to wormhole time dilation shenanigans that you sometimes get in some of her origin stories. But essentially, you know, she's traumatized, right? She had to watch the last bit of her family die, and she's been kind of carrying that along with her, angry at the world, angry at Clark for having maybe a more easy life than she did. And all of those themes are extremely dark, and there's some tonal whiplash in this thing, right? It starts, you know, it's fun, you know, it's a rock 'em, sock 'em, beat 'em up. There's, you know, the needle drops, which I can take or leave on some of them, but I get what they're trying to do. The action is fun. You know, I like Millie Alcock as Supergirl, but you just get these switches, right? And like Krem, the bad guy, he's kind of like, again, the king sex trafficker, murderer, but he kind of like mugs around and makes these like weird noises. And I'm like, am I supposed to be amused by this guy? Like, it's such a weird choice for him to be played that way. So that was really my only complaint with the film. And I can see why people may not like that. But in the reviews I read of that people didn't like the film, none of them really expressed that. They just said it was not that good. And I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I think I had the same challenge with Superman too, right? Gunn's, and granted this is not directed by Gunn, but so far the two films we've seen, there are kind of really shocking moments of violence and, like Matt says, darkness in them. Like in Superman, when the food truck guy who helped Superman out of the hole that he's thrown into, right? He gets shot in this really kind of disturbing Russian roulette kind of scene with Superman. And the same thing we have here with one of the young girls who escapes from her potential capture, gets found, and then they slit her throat. And it's just I don't know what it is about how he can't seems to be able to manage these tonal shifts in these films. But I will say, I think this is better than Superman.
Do you?
I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I believe what I may have finally kind of figured out is that Corin Sweat's Superman is the Superman I've been waiting to see basically for 20, 30 years, right? So the thing is, that's what it is. I love the character Superman. Because I rewatched the movie again a little while ago, too. The film itself is fine. It's a little... I don't know. He gets it right as a character, but the film is just underwhelming. I think I made excuses for it in the past because I was so happy just to get, you know, a Superman movie. And I guess Gunn's trying to shoot for this modernized Silver Age version of Superman. But it's just, the whole thing kind of feels forced at times and heavy-handed. And you can kind of feel Gunn's orchestrations in the background throughout the entire thing. I think the Supergirl film feels much more organic, feels much more natural and authentic, which I know is a weird, crazy thing to say, right, about this character and superheroes in general. But I think that I love Superman more than I love the Superman movie. That, and I think with this film, the sum is better than its parts. I think it's quite entertaining at times as well. And I think it all boils down to Alcock. I think she really shoulders this film and does a fantastic job in it. I haven't watched that Game of Thrones spin-off show that she's in, so I have no idea about her. This is my introduction to her, basically. And I think she's great. I think she really shines here. And Gunn said that her selection is the best bit of casting he has ever done. And I think I agree with that. One of the issues, though, I have with the film is, like Matt says, tonally, we have some odd shifts. Portrays itself as kind of this female empowerment film, I guess, at times. Girls kind of, you know, women taking up the task and going on the adventure to get the revenge. And her whole arc dealing with the loss of her planet. She grew up in Krypton, in Argo City, after everything happened. She lost everything, right? Superman Clark lost things, but he was a baby. He had no point of reference there. It's more of a mythical loss of civilization than it is actually friends, family, loved ones, right? So she's dealing with that grief for the whole thing and trying to find her place where she is in this new galaxy, in this new world. And Alcock does a fantastic job with that. But there's also challenges. It's Superman is one of the ones that kind of gets her, try to push her to be good and be proactive in who she is. It's her father who tries to kind of instill that in her as well, right? And there's lots of she's saved by Lobo at one point in the film, right? All these men around her are still kind of they're magnets, they're driving forces behind who she is. It hampers her, I think, in her development in a story where she has enough background and has the acting ability to come to these conclusions and do all these things on her own. And I think she gets handcuffed by all of that. This need to introduce. Well, it's DCU. We got to have Superman in here. Oh, we got to people like Lobo. Let's introduce Lobo. Let's get him in here, right? We got to do the sex trafficking thing off Fury Road. Everybody loved that kind of thing, right? So I don't know if it's like producer hand meddling, kind of inserting all of this stuff to try and make sure people come to see it. When I think the story on its own could have been just as successful without all those masculine interventions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of agree with you up to a point, right? I think Lobo is unnecessary, right? I think Jason Momoa is good as Lobo, but I never particularly
thought... great. I enjoyed him too in this, yeah.
But I don't think I ever really particularly liked Lobo that much. I mean, he was kind of a ridiculous character, right?
No, I never had any affinity for the character. But, even in the DeMatteis Gift and Justice League days when it was my introduction to that character.
Right. But I think ultimately, I didn't have a problem. And maybe this is just the benefit of being the father of a daughter. I didn't have a problem with her and the relationship with her father, right? Like I thought, and it's not like she didn't have a relationship with her mother. They just were coming at it in two different ways, right? And I think that's fine. I think that's valid. And I think at the same time, you can't have a story with where you're the cousin with the same powers of the most famous superhero in the world, who's known to be an absolute Boy Scout, and as she says, finds the good in everything. You need to have that juxtaposition, right? And she doesn't necessarily buy everything that he says, right? She doesn't think that he's right, but I think she comes to appreciate his point of view. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because at the end of the day, and they don't really build it out because they can't in this film, but, she's got, they've got to have some kind of relationship. So it's not like he's just some guy, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't have a problem with the Superman relationship. I don't have a problem with her father. I think those are kind of earned relationships. And I think you kind of have to have those if you're going to introduce it. I think it would be a worse film if they were completely absent. But
I think that's fair. What about Lobo? I bet his existence in this film almost feels like the old term, a backdoor pilot.
Sure. Yeah.
Momoa is clearly enjoying himself.
Yeah.
But it almost feels kind of like a stunt. And at one point near the end of the film, he refers to her as tits.
Yeah, he does.
And she kind of rolls her eyes at him, when I think the more appropriate response would have been to knock him on his ass.
Sure.
So that kind of bothered me as well. It's a little casual misogyny that I don't think their film really needed. Yeah, I think he already called her dits at one point, or I just misheard it.
Yeah.
But to come back or to say that at the end of the film, I didn't see the point.
Yeah, he definitely said tits. He said dits the first time.
He did. Okay.
But he said tits the second time. Unless I completely misheard it, or Jason Momoa had a very weird pronunciation of how he said tits that second time around. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think Lobo didn't really bring anything to the film. I thought, Jason Momoa was perfect for the role. Like I said, I don't particularly like the character. I don't think he was particularly effective as comic relief or even seeming like a badass or, being cool or anything like that. So I think this story would have been just fine if they didn't have Lobo in it at all.
Yeah, it's weird. I agree with you entirely. I'm in a weird place with it because I enjoyed the scenes he was in. But it was entirely superfluous, except for the fact that he ends up saving her at the end of the film as well, which I didn't care for.
Sure.
But it's weird. We're like, we don't really need him in this movie. It was fine that he was there, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it. So another thing too, maybe I'm just coming off of the moderate high of The Furious, which is a film you have not seen yet, which we will talk about at some point. I struggle with that film on some levels, but the fight choreography on that, again, just continues to escalate. It's exceptionally well done. And I struggled with that with this film. This movie, it feels kind of chaotic. It feels unfocused. A couple of times, I think we get at least 2 fight scenes where we're at a certain character's perspective and there's guys just flying around because they're getting hit by Supergirl, right? Okay. That's fine. I would like to, more focused, intense, perhaps, fight scenes, and I think what we got.
Yeah. I think they were trying to show the
immensity of her power.
Yeah, like a Kryptonian just letting go and not giving a shit kind of thing. So I think it was cool to see, but you're right, it's kind of hard for old man me to follow it, right? And I kind of do want to go back to something you said earlier.
Please.
You kind of mentioned the kind of the thing in Superman, the Russian roulette thing, and the victim who escapes and her and her whole family are all killed by the bad guy, right? It is very James Gunny, because to me, like, he has these moments of shocking violence, right? And like these dark things that you don't expect, like watching Super, like we're how far are we through it? And then all of a sudden Rainn Wilson splits some guy's head open with a wrench that is like extremely graphic on screen. I was just not expecting that. So I think that's just in James Gunn, and that's just how he does things. And I think, for better or worse, you can say what you want about Marvel, but they made him rein that back. And that's why Guardians is more just the kind of nicer parts of Gunn, as opposed to those kind of shocking moments of Gunn that he likes to slip in there.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is about him to do that, because it takes you out of the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a different experience than I think the surrounding cinematic environment. It kind of pulls you out of it for a second. And I don't know what his compulsion is to do that. Like, I think it undermines too the ability of like moms and little girls to go see this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, the whole sex trafficking angle,
that too.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing. I mean, I get why they're doing that, but it seems like the wrong vehicle to do this in. The second, or I guess the first, major female-led superhero film that's, supposed to be, adjacent to Superman and all this kind of stuff. I think they could have done it, even if it was just like they were slavers in general, right? And that would have been a much easier pill to swallow than kind of having this be up there, right? So yeah, I think it's a weird choice for a PG-13 summer blockbuster film where people are going to want to bring their kids to it.
Yeah, and then you have, like you said too, the main bad guy, where he's also, like you said, mugging and kind of funny and charming in his, well, charming's not the right word, but he's a little goofy too, but in the end is almost entirely unremarkable for me, right? So I mean, that's, I think, a detraction as well, unfortunately, for the film. Some dodgy effects, though, for the most part, I think they're relatively strong. I think the alien designs, well, the creatures that we get, I loved the what is it, the intergalactic space bus.
Yeah,
with all the people on it, all the different creatures. Though I do say, again, I think one of the challenges, this film seems to pull from a lot of different stuff. Like the bus reminded me of Totoro, right? You know, and then you have the Mad Max influence with the sex trafficking. You have, I don't know, and then the needle drops. I want to talk about the needle drops.
This is the serious stuff, folks. This is the stuff Chris really wants to talk about.
Sorry. There are moments where the score here by Claudia Sarn is actually really good, but it's very, very fleeting. And then again, it jumps out at me like a sore thumb with Gunn's Superman. It's the tepid, just microwaved, warmed over version of John Williams's classic score. Really bogs down Superman. Here, I think things are actually pretty strong, but the problem is the film is much more interested in needle drops to varying levels of success. But then at the end of the film, with a climactic fight scene, there is this Jimmy Eat World cover that is just horrendous. And it undermines, I think, that whole scene. It just doesn't fit.
Right. And
this seems to be, I don't know if this is what it's going to be like now in this entire DC universe, because Gunn loves his needle drops. And I struggle with that, too. I put out on Blue Sky that Scott Weinberg had posted. He said the same thing. He said, I don't understand it, because like Gunn nails punk rocker at the end of that film, the Iggy Pop, well, it's not an Iggy Pop song technically, but the Iggy Pop led vocal song Punk Rocker, and it perfectly encapsulates the entire film. It's a cherry on top of the sundae. It nails it. But the rest of them throughout are just kind of, and then the same thing here. A couple of them are okay, but that Jimmy Eat World cover, man, woof.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I mean, when it started up, I'm like, why do I know this? Like, it took me a long time to place it. And I was like, this is not the music to a climactic battle scene, right? I mean, it's just not. I don't know who did the cover, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to shit on you. And maybe the cover itself, if I was introduced to it in a different way, as opposed to the way I was, it wouldn't be so bad. But yeah, it's not a good choice.
It just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It doesn't work in that scene, unfortunately. So it's disappointing.
Yeah. But I want to say this. Chris and I did a lot of complaining, but I think they're nitpicks.
That's the weird thing. I'm giving this a B. I'm hovering on a B+ this the whole time while I'm watching it. It's very good. It's very entertaining. It has some just some bare, it's kind of bare threads that are kind of peeking out from underneath it that maybe need a little tightening up. But again, for me, Alcock is a centerpiece. It's a welcome addition to this DC extended universe. And I think so far it's a highlight of everything I've seen so far. Well, Peacemaker Season 2 is probably the best thing it's been done yet.
Yeah.
But this would be right sliding behind that. It's good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. And Alcock is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to commit a little more, and I'm going to give it a B+.
You are. Maybe I'll be influenced with you and go with that B+ at some
What
point.
did I give Superman? I have to give it slightly less than Superman. So if I gave Superman a B+, then it's going to get a B.
Oh boy, yeah. I'll have to see if I'll pull that up while we're shifting over into the physical media picks when we play that audio clip. So good times. If you had a chance to see Supergirl, and then sadly it doesn't look like a lot of people are, go ahead and hit us up at feedback@thefirstrun.com. Go see it. I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy it. You gave it a B, and I gave it an A-.
Okay.
So I would go to B- on Superman now, and I'd probably give this a B, I guess B+ at this point.
All right. So I think I still liked Superman better, but I don't think I liked it that much better. So I'm just going to give them both a B at this point. It's that one's at 86 and the other one's at 84.
Right? Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, that's fair. So, good times. All right, folks. As again, feedback@thefirstrun.com. We'd love to hear from you. Matt, let's go ahead and move on and talk about what's coming up on physical media this upcoming Tuesday, July 7th. Good Lord, the year is just flying by.
Jeez. No sooner do I turn my back than you pick somebody up.
Call it this American shit.
My husband.
The whole America.
Buddy, we didn't come in here looking for trouble.
What are you looking for? Your mother? You're beautiful. I take you into the kitchen and show you how they menace. When I finish, I give her to my friend.
I don't think you're going to want to do that. What you're feeling now is your own mortality. This bastard knows about it. He knows all about it.
All right, so coming out on physical media this upcoming Tuesday, July 7th, you're probably saying to yourself, Chris, what in God's name is that? That is Charles Bronson in The Evil That Men Do. It is the clip from The Evil That Men Do. People who know what I'm saying with that. So if you want to just Google The Evil That Men Do clip, it's probably going to be the one that comes up. It certainly should be. So I'm not going to ruin it for you. Just go to YouTube, type it in, and enjoy. Also being released, I think, there's not that many. What do I have, Matt? I think I only have, I got we'll do 1, 2, 3. So we'll do a quick rundown. 4. Shout Factory is putting some stuff out that's been out of print. The Gateway, Abel Ferrara's Fear City, and then the aforementioned Evil That Men Do, all being reissued by Shout Factory.
Get 3 coffins ready.
Gus Van Sant's Dead Man's Wire is being released on Blu-ray. This is based on a true story back in 1977, where Tony Cursidis entered the office of Richard Hall, president of the Meridian Mortgage Company, and took him hostage with a sawed-off shotgun wired with a dead man's wire from the trigger to Tony's own neck. It was based on a true story, supposedly, of people fighting back against the man type of a thing. I was not really familiar with this story, but Gus Van Sant made a movie out of it, and now you can pick it up on Blu-ray.
Well, you two lovebirds take it easy, okay?
A24, which continues to shit the bed as they try and rationalize their engagement with AI and funding from an AI startup, Capital Venture Fund thing, is releasing The Drama. You get a Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos track, audio commentaries, and a couple making of featurettes as well. This is the one with Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, which some people seem to really like and other people cannot stand. And you're number 1.
There can be only one.
Criterion is releasing The Elephant Man. Long out of print is being released in 4K by the boutique label. It includes all the prior special features as well as a brand new 4K digital restoration. I don't know if I say it's brand new. It may be the BFI one. From what I understand, the BFI transfer is supposedly better than the Criterion one. I think it's BFI. I know it's a UK disc, that much at least. So you may want to check out Orbit DVD or Diabolic or Grindhouse, one of those, and pick up the import, because of course it will be, well, I shouldn't say of course, it should be region free. Most of your 4K, it's technically illegal to have a region locked 4K disc. I didn't know this. I was talking to Brad Henderson of TerraVision. He was telling me basically the guy who created the technology would only sell it to people if they promised not to region lock their discs. But some companies like Shout, I believe, have done that on a few occasions. All right, those are your big releases. Like I said, not much there. So, Matt, let's go ahead and knock out this little game. I'm very, very excited about it. Let's play the theme. Okay. So there is a website, and it's called Conservapedia, Matt. It is the conservative alternative to Wikipedia. Okay. And a couple of years ago, they did a thing where they did the real versions or meanings of the liberal bias in movies.
Gotcha.
So what I'm going to do is going to read you their entry, and then I want you to tell me what that film is.
Amazing.
Okay?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Loosely based on Peter George's 1958 thriller novel Red Alert, this black comedy is against war, the military, and nuclear weaponry, and tries to downplay the seriousness of Cold War-era fears of nuclear apocalypse. What do you think that would be?
That is Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Atomic Bomb.
Hello? Hello, Dimitri. Listen, I can't hear too well. Do you suppose you could turn the music down just a little? Oh, that's much better.
You know, I'm not going to play the whole clip. That's exactly. And don't worry, I'm not playing clips for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to get you a feel for what it is. So
Gotcha.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Matt, this pro-feminist, anti-capitalist film franchise was originated by an atheist director. The first film was proven to be alarmingly similar to 1965's Planet of the Vampires, but since it fitted the left's agenda, they didn't care and gave it biased reviews anyway. The second film was an anti-Vietnam statement, and just like its predecessor, copies another previous feature, in this case, 1954's film Them.
Huh. It's so specific, but so vague. Like, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank, Chris. What is that?
What is a sci-fi movie that seemed to show what it's like to be in space, but still a working man that encounters a monster?
They're talking about Alien. They're talking about Alien and Aliens. The two of the greatest movies ever made.
This is great. This independent horror abomination vilifies nuclear energy as nuclear fallout from an exploding space probe in Earth's atmosphere is said to be the cause of the recently deceased becoming reanimated. In addition, it negatively portrays police officers as racist, as a group of officers kill our star, the African-American protagonist, when they mistake him for one of the dead, which the director intentionally chose to have happen to accuse the police of being behind racial lynchings.
It was Night of the Living Dead.
It certainly is. Yeah. Aside from its promoting paganism and the occult, it also demonized Franco's Spain, and promoted the Spanish Republicans from the Spanish Civil War due to it being made by I was not aware of this, Marxist director. More recent film.
Wreck?
No.
What was the first part again?
Aside from it promoting paganism and the occult, it also demonized Franco's Spain.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Exactly. Yeah. Very well done. I love that. This is a good one. Left-wing smut peddler, this director, failed attempt to depict all police forces and corporations as evil. It also contains an environmentalist message with the blank car ad that pollutes and guzzles gas for no other reason than it's environmentally unfriendly.
That's RoboCop.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Look at you. All right, we'll wrap it up. I don't want to go too deep into this. There's a lot of really, really funny ones.
Yeah.
Blatantly glorifies anarchism, homosexuality, and Islam. It also depicts conservatives as evil and fascists. Again.
Again, super broad.
Remember.
Oh, it's V for Vendetta?
V for Vendetta, indeed.
Oh. Wow. That is wow.
I don't know if you've seen this one. A lesbian public school cheerleader is attracted to other cheerleaders, portraying homosexuality as a legitimate lifestyle. The film attacks and ridicules reparative therapy in religious people, and it normalizes lesbians by depicting their star as a girly cheerleader, obviously a forced subversion of the lesbian archetype.
That's Natasha Lyonne, and so I'm a cheerleader.
But I'm a
cheerleader. Excuse me, you're right. Sorry. That's hilarious.
Oh, here's a good one. This American film, loosely based on the Japanese manga with the same name, supports feminism, environmentalism, illegal immigration, and anti-capitalism, as the villains of the film are depicted as wealthy slavers who live above the poor ghettos. In contrast, the heroes are violent street thugs who hate money.
That's Alita Battle Angel, which I still really like.
All right, and then I'll go with this last one. This attack on religion, particularly Catholicism, contains cheap, smutty jokes and incorrectly makes God female.
Oh, that would be Dogma.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And here's one, too, that I think I agree with. It's an anthology of short comedy, air quotes, films which glamorize virtually every form of deviant sexuality imaginable. Much of the humor, again, air quotes, or just quotes, is scatological, including a scene with a character who enjoys being pooped on. Aside from that, this movie is literally one of the worst motion pictures ever made in history. It has nothing that would make it good, imaginative, funny, charming, or understandable of its existence at all.
It's movie 42, or is that what it's
43.
called? 43.
That's exactly
okay,
right.
Yeah, okay.
And you know what? I agree.
Yeah, that is, you know what? Even the stopped clock is right twice a day, Chris.
That is a garbage film.
Yes.
I enjoyed that, Matt. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that. Good one.
There are dozens and dozens, but those are the ones that I think that I enjoyed the most when I was reading through them.
I'm not sure which one I'm most offended about.
Incorrectly makes God female. Matt, what's coming up next week on the show?
I think we decided we're going to watch Nirvana, the show, the movie, the band. I don't know. I'm sure I got that in the right order, but I think that's what we decided we were going to watch.
Yes, we did indeed. So in the meantime, you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd. Do a search for The First Run. Scroll. Eventually you'll find us. I'm on there as Chris Galzo, and Matt's on Letterboxd as Thurston. Head over to Apple Podcasts. Give us a review. It'll help other people find the show. And I think there's something else. TheFirstRun.com. Archives of all the old shows. There's a player there and more. Happy birthday, America, you messy bitch. I love you. And we will see you all again soon. Please take care of yourselves.
I can no longer sit back and allow communist infiltration, communist indoctrination, communist subversion, and the international communist conspiracy to sap and impurify all of our precious bodily fluids.